The June 2026 pre-scene has arrived, and it is all about hairdressing salons. So in this video, we're going to give you our 5 key issues we've identified from this pre-scene. We're going to give you some specific actions that you can take to really improve your chances of passing, and we're going to reveal a little challenge that Ben and I are going to undertake later this week to really get into this industry. But Ben, you kick us off with our first key issue from the case.
Key issue number 1 is about mission and values. Now, the SBL examiner loves this. They always give it to us in the pre-scene, and DKK is no different. We are told the company's mission, we're high end, and we're told some specific values about happiness and commitment, integrity, sustainability. The reason that we love these is that in the exam, they will be doing something that is either in line with the values or not in line with it. So if they do something that is luxury, is premium, then you can say that's in line with our mission. Or if they do something that isn't, you can say it goes against our mission, and you get extra credit for referring to this document and showing that you know it well. So learn those values and get used to practicing using them, because you will need to build them into your answer.
Key issue number 2 is around staff at DKK. Staff are crucial. We've got all these really highly skilled and well-trained hairdressers, and people go to the hairdressers for the staff. They are loyal to that person who knows how to cut their hair and the way they do it so beautifully. So keeping those staff is really important. Now, we see in the KPIs in the very last page of the pre-scene that satisfaction within the staff has dropped. It doesn't really tell us too much about how that's measured or why that is the case. We don't really know. But what we really want to know is retention. Keeping those good staff is crucial. They don't have that as a KPI, so that's one that maybe we might want to suggest if we get a question about KPIs. But keeping those staff on is really important. They can leave to go to competitors, but it's also really easy for them just to go and set up their own thing. If they're good and they've got loads of loyal customers, really easy for them to set up their own salon. Or, as my wife does, have their hairdresser just come and visit them at home, so they can be a mobile hairdresser, really popular these days as well. So managing their staff properly, really important at DKK.
Key issue 3, it's really low tech. If you look at the bottom of page 10 from the pre-scene document, it tells you all of these things that DKK does a bit strangely and a bit old school. Now, paper-based appointments. You can't book online. It's all done manually. Now, it's just, I mean, it's so ripe in the exam for them to be implementing a new system to do this online. But having a think about what's wrong with having a paper-based system? Well, it doesn't fit with the premium feel of the brand, does it? That, you know, as a younger customer, surely you expect to be able to book anything online. Having to phone up, telephone, what? They're going to lose out on bookings as a result. It opens them up to double bookings, and it opens them up to fraud as well, because your hairdresser could just be doing haircuts, not putting them on the books, and, you know, either taking cash for them, or you can tap on their phone rather than on the system, and no one will ever know about it. So they're missing out on, and they're missing out on data. So your repeat appointment, you're not getting an email reminding you to turn up for your appointment or to book your next one or anything like that. So bringing in a better CRM surely is something they're going to have to do. And another one to talk about being low tech is around manual inventory. And a lot of this inventory, well, we are the only provider, the sole stockist of some really high-end shampoos and conditioners and hair products. You can easily see how a member of staff with these manual inventory records goes, well, I'll just help myself to a few of those, and I'll either just take them home and use them myself or sell them to my friends. And you can see how it opens them up to fraud. It also opens them up to not knowing how much inventory they have in each location and perhaps running out of some key hair dye or something like that.
Key issue number 4 is around their operating profit margins. Now, they have dropped for the first time based on those KPI graphs in a few years. They were over 16%. They've now dropped to just below 14%, which doesn't sound amazing anyway. So that fall is slightly concerning. Why is that? Well, we don't know too much detail, but what we can see is that our costs are steadily going up each year, but then our revenue has plateaued a bit. It's leveled off the revenue from this year and last year. So Yeah, we've got a potential issue there that our margins are dropping. So what does that mean for us as a business? Well, maybe they need to focus on cost control. Maybe we need to think about, yeah, how do we reduce our costs? We've got a lot of staff costs, but staff are very important. So need to not upset them. That's a difficult balance. They also rent a lot of their premises. They've got lots of electricity and water and other cleaning products and things they've got to buy. So maybe they can manage those costs. Or maybe they need to think about revenue. Again, for the first time, our sales from those extra products that Ben was just mentioning, the shampoos, the conditioners, and the equipment that you can buy from them via these exclusive contracts we got with our suppliers, that has dropped below their threshold of 6.2% for the first time. Only 6.1%. But those things have amazing margins. Cutting hair, that's really time and labor intensive. But selling these products onto people, we make huge margins on those, and they have started to ease off a little bit. So maybe that's contributed to our reduced margins. Either way, when you see our margins drop like that, that is a concern for investors and everyone associated with DKK.
Key issue number 5 is around reputation and quality. And a lot of it is linked in with the individual stylist. A lot of the loyalty that customers will have is to their individual hairdresser, not necessarily to the salon. But each of our salons has this premium, high-end, the top excellent rating with the HSA, the industry regulator in our country. So all 50 of our salons have this top rating. And you can easily see that they've got lots of staff. They've got something like 450 hairdressers or hairdressing assistants. You can easily see how one of these hairdressers might do a poor quality job. They've got a pair of scissors and some nasty hair dye. You can easily see how things go wrong with a customer. Well, maybe we drop down our standards in one of those salons. If we do that, we no longer have this excellent everywhere reputation. With this number of people delivering service, it's very easy for things to go wrong. So something that DKK really focuses on is making sure you've got a lot of quality control, a lot of processes, a lot of procedures. We've got regional managers who are very tight in looking over the salon manager's shoulders to make sure everything's running properly. And well, what that perhaps creates, as well as cost, which feeds into perhaps lower margins, and perhaps staff dissatisfaction because they don't like being micromanaged, it's a bit of a diseconomy of scale. Well, a long word, but it basically means a disadvantage of being big. In a salon where the owner still runs it and is there day to day, that owner is making sure that standards are kept because it's their name above the door. Whereas we're bigger, we need an internal auditor. We need regional managers to make sure that standards are being kept. And these things all cost money and they feed into lower margins and perhaps lower quality. And that's perhaps why this industry is so fragmented, because as you get bigger, you have higher cost and perhaps lower quality.
So some key actions for you to take. The first key action is don't overdo this pre-scene. This pre-scene is useful for you in the exam, but it's not absolutely crucial. So don't waste hours and hours watching content on YouTube. You've watched this video, that's enough. We're going to do one more with some tips for the exam. You can watch that one, but don't waste your time watching loads of analysis and buying people's extra products about the in-depth analysis of the hairdressing industry around the world. It's just not worth it. It's all about practice. The skills are what get you through this exam. And that's what we really focus on in Club SBL, is giving people the skills that they need to pass this exam. They are absolutely crucial.
Action number 2 for you is you've got to use this document as a template to do your own analysis, Now, something we do a lot of in the course is taking all of our models, that are things like Mendelow's matrix for a stakeholder analysis, or something like integrated reporting. And we give our students lots of activities to do things like stakeholder analysis, but for this particular case study. Now, you can do that for yourself. Go through the models, all of them, or as many as you can in your textbook, and apply them to DKK. Now, we do loads of this in our pre-scene club course. So if you do join us for that course, you'll be getting all of our analysis and all of our exercises there, but you can do it independently too.
Action number 3 the single best way to pass this exam is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Write out questions in full. Now, if you're lucky enough to have mock exams based on DKK, like our students at Club SBL are, two mocks based on this, on this exact case,
with
then that's
answers,
amazing.
our answers,
with answers as
with
well,
video
with our
debriefs
answers
as well.
Yeah, you're right. It sounds too good to be true. So we got these mocks available. If you can't access mocks or you can't join us at Club SBL, you can use past exams and just imagine you're answering it as if it were DKK. Now, quite a good one for you to look at is the September-December 2025 exam on ACCA's practice platform called Levwell Hotels. So they're a hotel chain. They've got a booking system. They're looking to make an acquisition. There are quite a few things that could potentially overlap with DKK. So that's not a bad one to attempt at all.
Our challenge then, Andrew and I, for this case study, we love doing a bit of industry research. We love living the case study. So for this one, Andrew is going to train as a hairdresser, and then he's going to cut his wife's hair live on YouTube. What we are going to do instead is we've both done a bit of research, and we found the most expensive hairdressers that we can find in our local areas. And we're both going to get our hair cut this week, and we're going to report back on what the experience was like at a super premium, super luxe hairdresser. So we'll be releasing that along with our exam tips next week. But in the meantime, there is still time for you to join our Club SBL pre-scene course. And in that pre-scene course, you will get access to all of our skills videos showing you the best way to approach SBL exam questions. And we'll be giving you our analysis on this case study and our mock exams and all of our prep exercises. It is an amazing course. We got incredible feedback on it from the last exam sitting, and the pass rates are really high too. So it's still time for you to join that and get value out of it and boost your chances of passing.
So we'll see you next week at Club SBL on YouTube, where you can see our new hairstyles revealed, maybe some different colors, or Ben with a mohawk. And we're going to be talking about tips, what could come up in your exam for you to prepare fully. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.